It's becoming increasingly more rare with each passing year that a story, let alone a video game, genuinely causes an eruption of joy, leaving me grinning ear to ear as I stare at the screen with glee. This rarity certainly has not been absent in my time with Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, and during my playthrough, I've had several moments of gamer intoxication. You know, the moment when you stop and think, wow, this is actually a really cool moment. As I've progressed through the MSQ, I've experienced some incredible moments with this community, and honestly, Final Fantasy XIV has been a gift that just keeps on giving. It's actually the only game I feel is worthy in my current library of a monthly subscription due to its plethora of content. Some days I just want to relax and run some dailies with some friends. Sometimes I'm in the mood to learn a new class or try an extreme trial. Other days I just want to blaze through the main story. And because of this diversity of playstyle, Final Fantasy XIV is my ultimate daily comfort, and honestly becoming one of my all-time favorite games. After clearing A Realm Reborn, I was incredibly surprised with the ending and how the story set up for Heavensward. I took a few days off from YouTube and was reflecting on all the amazing parts of the base game and wanted to share one of my favorite moments thus far in Final Fantasy XIV. One of the most amazing instances occurred recently towards the end of my A Realm Reborn journey, as I finally made it to the bridge leading to Ishgard, where I experienced one of the coolest MSQ fights. This is where some of you may agree or disagree on how epic this fight was, but in my book, this fight is easily top 5 in my A Realm Reborn journey. And the fight I'm referring to is none other than the instance when we must drive back the Dravanian horde and face the terrifying dragon VISHAP. While it may not have been as difficult as an EX trial or even some of the hard dungeons, the environmental aesthetic, music, and overall flow of the battle made this a fight to remember. Now, a quick disclaimer, granted, I may have an MMO bias given the fact that this is my first experience with the genre, but fighting off an army of giant dragons would leave the inner child of most players at minimum feeling thrilled. And I will totally admit that my inner child was certainly screaming in delight as I navigated, in my opinion, one of the coolest fights on that bridge. Now, as an aside, VISHAP, the name of the main boss during this fight, really caught my attention and led me to dig into its origin, which I'm really glad that I did because it really portrays the overall magnitude of this terrifying beast. VISHAP is originally a dragon in Armenian mythology, which is closely associated with water, similar to Leviathan. It is usually depicted as a winged snake or with a combination of elements from different animals. Now this is where it gets interesting. It is said that sometimes with its children, the VISHAP used to steal children or toddlers and put an evil spirit of their own brood in their stead. According to ancient beliefs, the VISHAP ascended to the sky or descended therefrom to earth, causing thunderous storms, whirlwinds, and absorption of the sun, causing an eclipse. The dragon was worshipped in a number of Eastern countries, symbolizing the element of water, fertility, and wealth, and later became a frightful symbol of power. According to ancient legends, the dragon even fought Vahagan, the dragon slayer, in mythology. Now, within Final Fantasy XIV lore, VISHAP is a colossal dragon who, due to selective breeding, is of a size far greater than that of its sire, and remains one of the dog's greatest champions. The worm's movements are sluggish, yet his strength is without limit, and it was with seemingly little effort that VISHAP shattered Ishgard's magical ward along the Steps of Faith, coming within yalms of breaching the Gate of the Worthy and vanquishing the Holy See. This is actually a perfect segue into today's sponsor, Nostalgic Energy, who so graciously sent me this amazing tub of pre-game, pre-workout formula. The name of this particular flavor is almost too perfect for the video, being Dragon's Blood, and it tastes absolutely incredible. It has a focus factor, which has been absolutely perfect when I need to bust out a video script and just need that extra oomph. I've also been using it before my Final Fantasy XIV MSQ videos, and I've also been using it in the gym, which gives me a really good pump. Best part is there's no crash, it has amazing flavor, and they have a really cool line of Final Fantasy inspired flavors like Thundaga, Limit Break, and Phoenix Down. The artwork on these labels are absolutely sick. I really enjoy just looking at the product as well as actually using it. It's kind of like those labels that you feel like when you're actually done with the product that you don't want to throw it away. From what I understand, the company is doing different seasonal labels, so I don't know if they're always going to have these particular labels for these flavors, but as of right now, I'm absolutely loving the art design for them. And again, I'm really thankful for this partnership. If you're looking for an amazing energy supplement, I definitely recommend checking them out. Make sure to go support this small business. We love fellow nerdy businesses, and all of their links will be in the description of this video. And yeah, go check them out. Okay, now back to our video. Now, considering the lore of this colossal dragon, VISHAP, it is truly incredible to face him in combat as a symbol of Vahagan in Armenian lore. Additionally, there was something really cool about seeing your fellow scions on the battlefield along with the recruited soldiers who so willingly gave their lives to defend this bridge. This battle truly felt like a war with the number of allies and enemies that were spawning in on this particular instance. And in my opinion, the developers did an amazing job making you, the main character, feel the gravity of the moment. While this fight could have been designed as a 24-man raid, I actually did prefer to experience the overall instance with the story characters as a solo experience. This was a very grounding moment for me as a player who has been running a lot of EX trials with my community, which left me feeling somewhat detached from the narrative, which is no fault of the game, but rather just my availability to play has been limited, which caused my playstyle to focus on communal experiences rather than the MSQ solo experience. One of my favorite parts of this particular fight was just the overall aesthetic, which I thought perfectly captured a sense of dread mixed with impossibility, leaving me, the main character, feeling uncertain of victory. When reviewing this boss fight, I am reminded that not only are these characters fighting in higher elevations, where in the mountains where oxygen levels are often thinner, but the temperature is that of a cold, snowy mountain, the bridge on which we fight covered in ice, and furthermore, we are required to slay fantastical monsters capable of spewing devastating fires. Again, perhaps some of this deeper reflection is because I didn't run this instance with friends or my community, and rather running it solo gave me an opportunity to really reflect on how the overall fight was designed, as well as the point of view from the main character as well as the other scions, really making the gravity of the fight feel so much more serious and more intimidating. But I think that's what attracted me to diving deeper into VISHAP's story, and ultimately really putting myself in the place of the scion and the soldiers in this instance. Now, let's not forget the most devastating factors about this fight: the overwhelming waves of dragon variants strewn across the bridge, all under the control of one of the most intimidating dragons, VISHAP, whose size is worthy of all the legends ever spoken. A dragon whose claw is larger than my entire character and capable of incinerating the entire bridge in flames. From a lore perspective, this fight would be worthy of all the pub songs throughout the lands of Eorzea, and in comparison to other Final Fantasy games, this battle would be akin to, at minimum, a very late game encounter. I also really enjoyed the musical themes during this fight. The marching beats, the piano riffs, and epic flute melodies all together made this MSQ battle just feel absolutely legendary, and certainly worthy of Nidog's greatest champions. I also really enjoyed the added pressure of not only defeating an army of dragons, but doing so within a time limit, seeing the bridge barriers fall one by one until eventually you and your fellow scions are crammed into a very small section of the bridge. The fellow soldiers' resolve dropping to unimaginable levels, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, and nothing to do but hold your ground against a behemoth of a creature. A very familiar but welcome trope within medieval fantasy, and certainly well utilized within Final Fantasy XIV. The longer duration of this instance added a level of immersion that kept me on the edge, wondering how much longer we had to endure before felling this fantastical beast. I was amazed at the length of the battle, as it is one of the longer solo MSQ fights, again adding to its severity. Eventually, I did defeat this horde and its master, and I was rewarded with that oh so sweet gamer endorphin as I watched the monstrous VISHAP come crashing down onto the icy, war-torn bridge. This battle was by far one of my most favorite moments in A Realm Reborn, and I can't wait to see what the future expansions offer in the MSQ content. And if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing for more nerdy content. If you would like to support this channel, consider joining my Patreon or my YouTube membership, where I have special videos locked behind those paywalls. And it's a program that really helps me as a content creator focus and have more time to actually create more content. Also, thank you to all my current supporters and patrons for your support. It's so amazing for all the messages I get on Discord and on Patreon. Just your support and your overall enjoyment of my content. It's actually very humbling. Also, I produced a music video about Final Fantasy XIV Floor Tanks. It's a parody song, and it would mean so much to me if you checked it out. It's called Blue Dragoon, and I'll link that at the end of this video. It was a really fun project, and I'm hoping that more people can really enjoy the end product of that video. Again, thanks for watching. I really hope that you stick around and watch more of my videos. Until next time, stay nerdy. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.